Alright, well tonight gonna start working on getting some of this dirt glued in place. Now I have a layer of dirt that I've fixed to the foam using the cheap latex paint, but there's some spots where I actually want dirt to pile up against the rocks. Like this, for example, over here, and fill in some cracks and crevices. Well, the paint isn't going to hold that in place. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just take my brush and sweep the dirt off where I don't want it on the rocks, and then using an eyedropper and also a spray bottle full of water with a couple of drops of dishwashing detergent in it, and some Woodland Scenic Cement. I'm going to glue those piles of dirt in place. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. And for those who may be wondering, there is a word for this kind of mixture of water and dishwashing liquids. It's called wet water. I always got one or two people who always kind of laugh and kind of say, "Oh, isn't it already wet?" It's like, well, if you don't know, the dish soap breaks the surface tension in the water, and that keeps it, any glue or adhesive you try to soak into dirt or any other kind of powdery substance, it keeps the glue from beating up on top. So it helps it soak right in. So, but first I'm going to get my dirt piles, sweep away what I don't want, and glue my dirt piles in place where I do want my dirt to be. So, and over here by the tracks here, I just want a thin layer, so I'm just going to let the dirt I glued in place with the latex paint, just going to let it set there, just let it lie there. So see what I've got here right in this little spot here. I've got a little bit of dirt hiding in here. Let me do a close-up right in there, just kind of filling in the cracks here. So I'm gonna, like I say, give that a shot with the wet water first to kind of hold the dirt in place and prep the dirt for the adhesive, and then I'll put a couple of drops of the scenic cement on there, and that'll hold it in place. But see, when you use real dirt, you kind of let the dirt fall where it would naturally collect, and then that's what I'm going to seal in place. That's just a nice little touch here. And I'm using the scenic cement because it has a matte finish, and I know you could use a mixture of Elmer's glue and water and do the same thing, but the problem is that gets on the rocks. That tends to have a bit of a sheen to it, kind of not a sheen, a shine, and so that can kind of break up the effect a little bit if you have these blobs on there of shiny glue. So I would, I'm just playing it safe and using the scenic cement with a matte finish. So that seems to work fairly well. Got some dirt down here, maybe a little too much. Let me sweep this away. I'm gonna let some pile down at the bottom here, right up against the rocks. So it makes it kind of look like dirt has naturally over the years fallen down at the bottom. You can see there. So I'm gonna give that a shot with the scenic cement and glue that in place. And here it's going to be all filled in with ballast anyway, so I'm going to clean it up along the track. That's going to be covered over. Like that. And the leftover dirt, I'll just sweep it back up into my container and use it elsewhere. Here, I'm letting a little dirt set in here in this rock, right there, right in that little cleft. So let's make it look like this thing's been here for a long time. See, I got some accumulated right up top here. I'm going to leave that. I want that on there. Make it look like this all gathered over the years, filled in cracks and crevices, and have these rocks just kind of stick out naturally. Like I've said before in other videos, there are faster methods than what I'm doing. But what's cool about this hobby is you can do pretty much any thing you like. Fast or slow. This is a little bit of a slower approach. So if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. Okay, let me do this section first. I got this on the mist. Don't soak it too much. Just enough so a little bit of the water penetrates the top layer. So when I actually put the glue on, the nice thing is it also cleans off the rocks too a little bit and gets rid of some of that dust. So I take my eyedropper and just start dropping it on there. See? Soaks right in. I use the wet water. See that? Just goes right in. If you don't use wet water, it just beads up on top and makes a big old mess, but see? Just goes right in. What's nice is when you give it a little shot of water, the dirt kind of pools. See how the dirt's kind of pooled in there? You know, like it would in a real rock, you know, after a rainstorm. A little mud and dust had gathered there, kind of pools in the same way and kind of dries. So in that same way. So that's kind of a nice little effect. I'm getting a little bit on the rock, but I'm not too worried about it because this will dry to a matte finish, and that's when I'm using this stuff. Stuff a good soaking with the glue, hold it in place.